This refrain is achieving Gregorian chant status at this point, less an inquiry than a mantra, a preoccupation for populists while inducing anxiety in elites, podcasters uncountable, and conjurees of commentators, delighted expression of the question, wheedling their witless viewers with ever more stentorious assertions of civil war ascendant. Dim Pool and Benzedrine Shapiro have predicted a second civil war for longer than the first one lasted, all without troubling themselves to actually answer the question and making more money in the process than a gynecologist with Parkinson's. I know how my favorite comedian answered the question all the way back in the 1990s.
I'm 42 years old, and I think it might be unfixable. Geez, I don't even know if I want to try to fix it anymore. Maybe it's time to make a little bread, build a wall, take care of my loved ones, do a little charitable work to keep my karma level and stay out of the crosshairs of the scope, because it is a fucking madhouse out there. You ever see the look on anybody's face who's over 80 years old? They give you that good fucking luck look. No.
I also know how some of the foremost thinkers in the West at least attempted to answer. Edmund Burke once opined, "We are bound to maintain the legacy of our ancestors, not as a mere inheritance to be squandered, but as a trust to be transmitted unimpaired to our posterity. And in this sacred duty, perseverance is the virtue that guards against the tempests of innovation and the decay of time." Yet we find ourselves whirling about in a curious socio-mechanical maelstrom at present, for much of the societal decay we're witnessing cannot be attributed to the Tootsie Rolls of time, but the pixie sticks of the present. Disgraced DOJ dick holsters like Merrick Garland and Jack Smith committing conspiracy in the recently revealed Operation Arctic Frost, for example. A name which, for all their assertions it wasn't envisioned to eliminate Orange Man, is in fact the name of a particular breed of orange tree that can withstand the unseasonably nipply winters of Gator Country. Well, if that ain't the coinkiest of dinks. The name, of course, proved prophetic as Trump withstood it all the way to the White House. Maybe pick one of your pets' names next time, asshole. May I suggest Stephanopoulos? And yet the response from the jagoff GOP, a scant social media post and the very sternest of finger wagglings. Late stage Tea Party 2.0. And so again we ask, is it fixable? 4-foot -5 fuckwits wearing prom suits and broadcasting in front of a green screen in their gammy's guest room alleged on Tucker Carlson's podcast that the only available remedy is feudalism and theocracy, all while slavering over communist China and Stalinist Russia.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I wanted to meet you.
That your point of view is fundamentally anti-American. From the founding fathers, the framers,
100%. Americanism is a heresy in the Catholic Church. You'd know that if you knew fucking anything.
Why be in the United States and try to change us into some theocratic regime when that's not fundamentally what the country is about?
We want to make it better.
I've heard about you.
I mean, I do really prefer the feudal model, which is the ancient, it's the model of all time.
I mean, feudalism is so much better than what we have now because at least in feudalism, the leader is vested in the prosperity of the people he rules.
Right. So funny, it was December 18th. I remember because that's an important date to me. And it's Joseph Stalin's birthday.
Oh.
I'm a fan.
You're a fan of Stalin's.
Mm-hmm. Always an admirer.
We should be more like China.
Look, Tucker, I think it's neat and all you decided to reach across the aisle and interview a Kamala Harris supporter, but beyond the obvious Richard Spencer 2.0 op you're now willingly complicit in, there's just two tiny flies in the pseudo-intellectual ointment. One, we've already tried the communist Chinese system. We called it the COVID era, and if your guest wasn't so busy endorsing Kamala and swallowing more wiener than Kobayashi, he'd recall public outrage over it was a massive reason Trump was removed in 2020 and ultimately resurgent in 2024. No thanks to him. And two, if feudalism and theocracy is preferable to the American model, wish granted, you bow-tied bitch-made goof, because to a large extent a corpo-oligarchic variant of feudalism with a woke religion parked atop it is precisely what we're living under. For what is bridge, ESG, HIJK, LMNOP, and all the other shitty shibboleths, if not a secular religion deigned by the DEI from on high? And what is urban Bolshevism, wherein mayors of deep blue burgs promise free shit to illegal invaders, implicitly securing their vote, while actual overtaxation taxed Americans outside the city walls languish in the fields and underwrite the sale at shotgun point, if not reform feudalism. Cucker, Spic Fuentes, and Candy Kong foist a feudal solution while crying about glitches in free market capitalism that are in fact features of feudalism and theocracy. But while not everything has been fixed, some things have already started to be. For decades upon decades, illegal alien identity thieves cratered the credit of actual U.S. citizens, while a human shield of shitlords from border state mayors to theoretically Christian charities to the highest halls of Congress turned trafficking into a formal function of government. Also, a Hispanic serf class could sit in for seasonal labor, doing dick all that American teens and 20-somethings hadn't done for decades before Sped Kennedy and LBJ borked our immigration system permanently in the year of, oh Lord, 1965. Contemporaneously, for 3 terms, Biden erected a double standard the size of battleship Potemkin, sentencing all sapient life to a digital dipshitosphere where the merest utterance of an aberrant slur or saucy joke on Boomer Book meant your IP address, school schedule, and precise texture of your last pap smear would be broadcast across the interwebs to all and sundry. Oh, but if Dirty Sanchez wants to sashay across the border, beweaponed, with an actively beeping IED in his dumper, he gets a taxpayer-funded fluffing courtesy of Cominternfornia. After 11 months of the dead king of Dunharrow insisting it was a reality-shattering impossibility to close the border, watching Trump slam it shut in 2 entire months was the funniest shit on television.
You better get your act together, or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country. Nobody. Shut it down. And we took out a lot of bad people that got there with Biden. Biden was a total stiff.
So is it fixable? It's sort of already starting to be. But like a drowning man waiting for Pam Anderson to bear him back to the beach for mouth-to-muff resuscitation, it never seems quite quick enough, does it? But it can't be fixed everywhere. Look, it's neat the Brit-bongs are playing capture the flag with the feds, but if you think the solution to statism is statism squared, you are in for the nastiest surprise since British cuisine. And that's sad. As a half-German, half-English asshat myself, I'd like to understand Great Britain better, but sadly, I still haven't learned Farsi. I'm Razor Fist. Godspeed!
We will have another surprise, another digital campaign aimed at Donald Trump's presidential campaign. But it will only escalate and expand from there. Depending on how things go in the coming weeks, we will begin deploying on the ground in the state of Michigan. That's where it will start. We will engage in other guerrilla political tactics in Michigan, which I will not disclose at this time, until the election, which includes telling people to sit this one out and refrain from voting.
Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here.